let's go into that.
Accusations. Tell me what the accusation is.
The accusation is this: that he was responsible for the insertions together with the former Speaker of the House, now Congressman Martin Romualdez. And there were two people who said that. At the very least, you have Congressman Toby Tiangco and former Senate President Chis Escudero. Go ahead, attorney.
What insertions when? How much? You see the problem? You can't make a generic accusation. You can't make a general, universal accusation and say, you're guilty of corruption. Come home and defend yourself. Corruption? Corruption? How? When? Where? What?
So, to answer me this, did he have anything to do with the insertions?
I'm asking you. I'm answering you. I'm asking you, what insertions? What year? 2019, 2021?
For the budget for this year, 2025.
Insertions? Insertions? Which insertion?
So this is how you're going to defend your client, by going through the line item by line item.
Yes, because you're accusing him of a crime, and it's my job to find out what exactly you're accusing him of.
Welcome po sa Opinion TVPH channel. Mga kababayan, sabay-sabay po natin panoorin ang balitang ito at sama-sama tayong mag-react sa comment section. Please support my channel. Like, share, and subscribe.
All right, we'll now be speaking with the legal counsel of former Congressman ZALDY CO, Attorney Roy Rondain. Attorney Rondain, thanks for taking our call. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Carmina. How are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
Good, thanks.
All right, so I watched your press conference yesterday, Attorney Rondain, and you said several times there that you had to speak up because the narratives are being skewed. Let me cut to the chase, right. Attorney Rondain. What is the truth according to your client?
Well, there's no whole narrative because we don't have enough time for me to explain the entire narrative. What I said was we had to recalibrate, we had to correct the narrative because it had gotten so skewed that the people were being misled. I will give you, or my client will give you his entire version of the truth in due time. We're not going to have enough time today, Carmina.
Now, give us a glimpse, Attorney Rondain. I mean, it's the first time that we've heard something from your client through you, the first time in months, and people are very curious as to what the truth is according to ZALDY CO.
For example, people have been coloring the term insertions, and they're saying that there's been there is now general belief that an insertion is illegal. And I explained yesterday that it is not illegal. In fact, it's a very colored term that everyone's been doing it since forever. And the fact that it's been done doesn't automatically imply corruption. Now, part of my client's narrative is that he didn't receive any kickbacks, as claimed by some alleged witnesses, and he did not commit any crime. And the fact that he's being persecuted now indicates to me, anyway, that a prejudgment on his case has been made. Everything else in between will take a lot of time because I don't want to mislead anyone. Again, I'm not inclined to do that.
Since the press conference yesterday, Attorney Rondain, were you able to speak to your client?
Yes, I spoke with him this morning.
And what did he say?
He was quite happy with the press conference because at least he said that people will have heard his side, and he's hoping that those who are sober enough will at least take some of the things I said and some of the things he wanted to convey to heart, and maybe step back and dial down the temperature.
Here's the thing, though, when you listen to and watch the press conference yesterday, it was really more of explanations, right? And sort of like separating your client from the business, right? And therefore separating what could be his liability. But still there is that anger coming from the people. What does he say? What does he have to say about that anger from the people, Attorney Rondain?
Okay, one thing at a time. Separating his personality as a person from his personality as a stockholder, that's not my invention. That's not my legal fiction. That's created by law. That an individual has a separate personality distinct from a corporation of which he's a member. So if a corporation in which he owns stock commits a wrong, he's not contaminated. It's that simple. That's not a legal excuse. That's not acrobatics or anything. That's the law. Separate corporate personality.
Okay, let me just cut
Now
you
you're
there.
saying that-
Let me just cut you
Okay.
there. The way you explain it, some would say, and I want you to answer this, that's a perfect cover-up. That's very convenient. It
Cover
is the
for
law,
what?
yes, but it can serve as a perfect cover-up and a very convenient one. And that your reaction to that and your defense. Go ahead.
It's not a cover that I created. It's what the law says, because it's necessary for commerce. Now, if they're saying that it's being used, that the cover is being used as to perpetrate fraud, there's a remedy. They have to go to court and pierce the corporate veil and hold the stockholder liable for the actions of the corporation. It's not ironclad. There are solutions. But you can't blame a person for using a defense that's available to him in law. Now, they're angry about it because I didn't get the last part of your question. They're angry because I'm using that as a cover?
Well, you perfectly answered it already. I was asking you about, your defense to that people might see your explanation as the perfect cover-up or the convenient way out of this. But as you said, there's a way to pierce that corporate veil. Let me go back now to the other question, which is, how does a former congressman see the anger coming from the people?
I was hoping that the press briefing yesterday would relieve the anger a little bit, would dial it down. But I have received mixed reactions to the press con. Some people are saying that, I didn't know, and now I have context, and it seems that we've been quick to judge after all. And some people are, of course, just spitting fire and fury. There's nothing I can do about people who refuse to listen to reason. So,
but what does your client have to say about the anger?
same thing. He's sad, but what would you do, Carmina, if you're accused wrongly of a crime?
I would defend
What
myself.
is it that people expect you? Defend yourself from what and how?
I mean, I would show up. I would show
And
up.
do what?
And
do
defend
what? Get
myself
strung up?
personally and not use
That's the
people
thing,
like
Carmina.
you.
Defend yourself from what? I explained this yesterday. I was hoping that people would get this. When you accuse someone of a crime, you have to accuse him specifically. You have to say what, when, where, who, and how. So people want him to come home and to defend himself from what? I'm asking you now. What's the charge?
Well, that's going the legal route, and I understand you perfectly because that's your job, right?
That's right.
But
That's right.
there is this moral calling as well. I mean, the accusations are grave. I want to ask you, does he realize the gravity of these accusations? Take it away from the court, but the accusations
No.
outside of it, does he
No.
realize the gravity? Go ahead.
No, he does not, because he doesn't know what the accusations are, and I'm the first line of defense. What are the accusations? Tell me before I defend, because that's a misconception. Most people want me to prove that my client is innocent. I don't have to do that. That's not the way our laws are drafted. Our laws are drafted such that if you accuse someone of a crime, you have to prove it. An accused doesn't have to prove innocence. It's up to the prosecution to prove that he's guilty. So if you're saying that he should come home and defend himself, my first question will be, defend himself from what?
Okay, let's go into that.
Accusations? Tell me what the accusation is.
The accusation is this, that he was responsible for the insertions together with the former Speaker of the House, now Congressman Martin Romualdez. And there were two people who said that, at the very least. You have Congressman Toby Tiangco and former Senate President Chis Escudero. Go ahead, attorney.
What insertions when? How much? You see the problem? You can't make a generic accusation. You can't make a general, universal accusation and say, you're guilty of corruption. Come home and defend yourself. Corruption? Corruption? How, when, where, what?
So to answer me this, did he have anything to do with the
Which
insertions?
I'm asking you. I'm answering you. I'm asking you, what insertions? What year?
For the-
2019, 2021?
For the
22,
budget
23,
for this year, 2025.
Insertions? Insertions? Which insertion?
So this is how you're going to defend your client, by going through the line
I can't
item by
help it.
line item.
Yes, because you're accusing him of a crime. And it's my job to find out what exactly you're accusing him of. There's no such thing. I don't know why this is difficult to comprehend. There's no such thing as a universal accusation. If you say that I stole something, I stole millions, for example, you have to tell me where I stole it from, how much exactly I stole, how I stole it, when I did. You can't tell me that I should defend against an accusation of theft or robbery. That's the way it is.
Okay, what about being the chairman of the Appropriations Committee? What about being part of the small committee? What about the missing minutes that cannot be given to the public? That's what Congressman Toby Tanco is also saying. Maybe you're confident about saying which insertions, which line item, and all of that, because there is nothing as of the moment that would point to a certain insertion, because the minutes of the small committee, they're nowhere to be found. No one is releasing it.
I don't know. I don't know the details of the accusation.
Why don't you ask your client? Have you asked your client about it?
You're missing the whole point, Carmina. I can only ask him about a certain accusation. I can't ask him about general accusations. That's the whole point of this conversation. You have to tell me what it is. Now, if Representative Yanko has an accusation on specifics, then he should file it in court. I don't want to litigate this on the media, because he has a bigger forum, a better and a louder forum than I do. He has the Congress. He can deliver a privilege speech. He can go on TV anytime. I don't have that. I don't have that power.
So he doesn't understand why.
He does not understand.
He does not understand the anger.
No, he does. He does. But you're asking me to explain it away. I can't, because I don't know what the accusations are.
No, but how does he take this whole situation? What is his appreciation and understanding why what is happening is happening to him?
He feels very bad that there's a lot of anger, but he doesn't understand why he's the target. Because you're saying, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say because he hasn't answered the accusations. And I'm going to say again, what accusations?
When did your client feel that, the tide was turning against him?
I think a couple of weeks after the sauna, when it started exploding, little explosions initially, and then when it reached critical mass, then that's when he felt it.
By the way, I wanted to ask you as well before we start the conversation. How is your client doing health-wise?
He's all right, I assume. Of course, he has his medical problems like most people, but he's okay. Emotionally and mentally, he's all right.
Enough to come back?
Again, he will come back when the threat against his life is abated, when his fear of the threat to his life is abated.
But then it goes around, right? The fear.
Yes.
The fear stems from the anger of the people. You've said that as much. You said in your press conference, have you seen social media and all that? So the fear comes from that, and you fear vigilantism. But then the people who are angry at him have only one thing to say, and one ask for him to come home and answer. So it goes around.
What?
And so it goes around.
We keep going around as well, you and I, because you keep asking me to answer, and I keep asking you answer what. This is a round debate.
Yeah, I'm not debating with you. I'm not debating with you. That's not my job.
The people are getting angry because they want him to answer, and what's he going to answer?
When were you engaged, Attorney Rondain, by ZALDY CO?
A couple of months ago.
When it started to happen?
When what started? When this whole thing blew up? No. A couple of months ago, maybe about... No. It had already started to boil over.
And what was the premise for him engaging you as his lawyer?
Defend me.
Defend him from?
Yes. From any potential legal proceedings. I mean, that is my job. That's what I'm trained to do.
So he knew at that time, that early?
Well, I assume that any reasonable person would accept that there's a high possibility that legal proceedings would be initiated. And a smart person would engage a lawyer before he needs a lawyer.
And
So-
what exactly did he see to make him engage your services? Because as you said a while
understand the question.
ago,
What did he say?
go ahead. Sorry,
I
you
don't
were
understand the
overlapping.
question. What exactly did he say?
What exactly did he see and felt
See.
at that time to make him engage your services when he started seeing the tide turn against him?
Oh, he probably felt that the trouble was coming, that he was going to be blamed for some things, and that's exactly what's going on now.
He was going to be blamed.
Yes.
By whom?
Let me stop there because we're starting to go into attorney-client privilege conversation. So I have to stop right there
Does he have his
at the proper
entire
time. At the proper time.
Does he have his
That will be
entire
disclosed.
family with him?
I don't know. I still don't know. I was asked that yesterday. I still don't know today.
The allegation, one of the accusations as well, is that none of this would have happened without your client. And your client wouldn't have been so confident, this is one of the allegations, to make those insertions and steal from the national coffers, had it not been for the former Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez. What do you know about where that relationship stands as we speak? The relationship between your client and the former Speaker of the House?
I can't answer that question because there's a premise I don't agree with. The premise is that he stole. And I cannot concede that premise, so I will not answer that question. However, I can isolate the latter part of the question on where his relationship with the former speaker stands now. I have no reason to believe that it is not as it was before.
Sorry, can you repeat it? You have no reason to
I
believe.
have no reason to believe that his relationship is not as it was before.
And why do you say so?
Because I have no reason to believe that it's changed.
All right. Can you categorically say, Attorney Rondain, that your client did not steal a single
Yes.
centavo from the national coffers?
Yes. Yes, I can categorically declare that.
And what's your reason for saying that?
Because it's the truth. And there is no evidence to the contrary.
When you talk to the people, though, and they say this person said this, delivered money, there's a money trail and all that, and this is being laid out to the public for the public to digest. Is there anything that you see wrong with all these pieces of information being laid out into the public outside the court, outside legal proceedings?
Yes, absolutely. Because it builds I can't say false because I don't know exactly what they said and they weren't under oath. So from an evidentiary point of view, I can't make any conclusions. But it builds a dangerous situation where people might believe otherwise inadmissible evidence, and it creates a false narrative. That's what I was trying to explain yesterday. For example, we're already assuming that money was delivered to my client because this guy said so, and that he stole billions from the government coffers. You see, that's the problem. We're building a narrative around evidence which has not been vetted and which might be inadmissible, which might be untrue to begin with. So yes, there is a problem with admitting statements like that outside of a court of law.
Let me just go back to what you said a while ago. Your client felt that he was going to be blamed. Why did he
Yes.
feel that way?
He, without disclosing too much, he was chairman of the Committee on Appropriations, and he did his job. He did what was incumbent upon him as chairman. He didn't cut any corners. He didn't do anything else. He did what was incumbent on him. And if something about the budget blows up, who are they going to blame? The chairman of the Committee on Appropriations. It's that simple.
Was he following orders from anyone, your client?
I'm not there yet. I can't answer that question today.
Did he say something of that sort?
Lawyer-client privilege at this time.
You said also in your press conference a while yesterday, you talked about the NEP, the National Expenditure Program.
Yes.
Would it be safe to assume that what you were saying yesterday was that the original sin is actually there at the NEP and not at the congressional level?
I don't know. I'm not saying it was wrong. I'm not saying it was illegal. I'm saying that my client can't be blamed for those projects because, in the first place, they were not insertions, as we like to call them. They were part of the NEP. And the issue with ghost projects was an issue of implementation. Congressmen don't implement projects. They just fund the projects. Now, if there's corruption after that stage, then you can't blame the chairman on appropriations, as in this case. No? Implementation. So you blame the agency that was supposed to implement it. You blame the people who certified that they were complete. That was the context of that statement.
Attorney Rondean, we were talking about the anger of the people a while ago. Can you tell us why your client does not deserve the anger of the people?
Because he didn't do anything wrong.
And you are confident that eventually your client will be vindicated?
Yes, I am.
What gives you that confidence?
I wouldn't be saying these things. I wouldn't be saying these things if I didn't feel that way.
Here's the thing, and I hope you don't mind me asking this.
Sure.
The accusations are very grave that your client stole from the country's coffers, and that
Who's saying that?
That's the belief now. You're talking about skewed narratives, and I'm telling you exactly that is a skewed narrative according to you, your words, not mine. That's been that's being or that's felt by the people, that's being believed by the people, that your client stole from the national coffers. My question is this. How concerned are you, or is there a concern from your end that the money being paid for your services didn't come from the people's funds?
I'm not concerned at all, Camila.
Then why is that?
If you look at his SALN, I said this yesterday when he became a congressman the first time, he filed his SALN, he declared a net worth of 4.1 billion. This is becoming a spiel. I've almost memorized it already. Cynthia Villar declared a net worth of 3.8 billion in 2020, 1 year later. Manny Pacquiao declared a net worth of 3.1 billion. So he was richer than both of them, than either of them 1 year earlier. So I'm an attorney. I defend people. The easy way out for me, intellectually and sentimentally, is to assume that the money he's paying me with came from the 4.1 billion. Secondly, as a lawyer, I have to tell you that my client is presumed innocent. I'm not going to presume that he's guilty and that the money he's paying me with is dirty. Who has the right to make that assumption?
There was a
Who has the
portion.
right to make that judgment?
There was a portion in your press con yesterday when you, I think this was that part where you were being asked about a certain vlogger, and you said that if you stand by your convictions, then the best way, I'm just paraphrasing here, the best way is for you to come here and utter those statements para level yung playing field, hindi yung nagtatago ka. You said that yesterday.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, the very same thing could be said about your client, Attorney Rondean.
How is that? How is he taking advantage of an unlevel playing field? I don't see the analogy.
No, the part that come home and face it. Hindi yung nasa ibang bansa ka at nagsasalita ka through your lawyer.
The difference is he's not making accusations. He's not uttering any falsehood that affects anyone, and he's not using his absence as a shield from liability. That's the major difference. He's not libeling anyone like these bloggers are. He's not uttering any false statements against anyone. He's not seeking protection from anything from his absence.
What did your client...
The analogy is false. Sorry. The analogy is false, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. I wasn't making an analogy. I was just saying that, people could say the very same thing about your client because your client is not here, as with that vlogger.
And I will say the same thing to them, that your analogy is false because he's not making any accusations. I said that in the context of unfair accusations, unfair and untrue accusations, and they're saying, sue me, I'm protected because I'm not there. He's not doing anything of the sort. It's a false analogy.
What does your client have to say about the allegations of Congressman Tiangco and the former Senate President Cheese Escudero?
What are the allegations of Congressman Tiangco?
The same. What I said a while ago when he appeared before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee for the first time and the second time, and the name was mentioned during that Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, and also former Senate President Cheese Escudero. Before he stepped down, he had that privileged speech as well, linking your client to this corruption scandal. What does he have to say about these two lawmakers?
I haven't talked to him about them, about these the statements, because I didn't see the hearings myself, so I can't comment on that at this time. But we're gonna go back to my first requirement. You have to tell me what specific allegations these are, because to me, if you can't specify the allegations, that's just politics, and you're shielded by the fact that you're protected by Congress, by your legislative immunity.
So if you say that's just politics and your client is no stranger to politics, how does he make sense of what is happening right now?
Again, he feels that he's being blamed unfairly and that he has committed no crime, so he has no moral issues with himself.
Let me just get that down. Right, and as a final question, Attorney Rondain, you have been saying throughout this conversation basically that their client is innocent. You also said that he will be vindicated. The truth is that he did not steal from the nation's coffers. So if your client is innocent, what is he guilty of?
Fear. That's what he's guilty of. If I ask you, do you believe that he's innocent, Carmina?
No, I have to see for myself the evidence.
There you go. So if you're saying that he's guilty, I have to see the evidence for myself. That's exactly my point. I'm glad you said that.
No, because I've been in this industry for quite a while now to know that there is a cycle of, just everything being laid out into the public, in the public, right, before the public, and people getting the short end of the stick, but then the narratives that are being shown as well. But then there is that legal process, and there should be that trial, right? Is it safe to assume, Attorney Rondain, that your client and you yourself, you're actually eager to get this legal process going?
I would, if all the impediments were out of the way, like fear of threat to his life. Yeah, I would. I'm eager to defend. Here's a bigger problem. I feel that this is going to be an unfair persecution, an unfair prosecution as well, and I'm confident that if all the evidence was in, he will be acquitted. The problem is they're trying to build a non-bailable case against him. And if that happens, they'll keep him in jail for the next 10, 15 years while we're litigating. And even if we win it in the end, he will already have lost, because he will have lost 10, 15 years of his life. That's my bigger fear.
Yeah, so what then do you do about that? You can't continue. He can't hide forever.
He doesn't have to. I said that I will defend him, and I'm confident. So we'll see where it goes. I have other remedies. I can't tell you what they are just yet. Because we have to wait for things to unfold. My remedies will depend on what they do. So I don't know what they've done yet, so I can't tell you what I intend to do about it.
But I guess it's safe to assume, and as you said it yourself, you believe that you're not going to get a fair shake.
From whom?
When this goes to trial.
No, I didn't say that. I said I was I said I was confident that I would get him acquitted. I said that the prosecution has prejudged it. That's why I said that I'm not inclined to file a counter affidavit because the ombudsman has already prejudged it. That's what I said. I didn't say I wasn't gonna get the fish.
Okay, back to what you said when I asked you about what is he guilty of. You said fear. You
Yes.
said as well that he's going to come home if the fear is no longer there. But that's up to him.
Yes.
That's up to
No,
him.
the fear of the danger. Yes.
Yeah.
It's very subjective. I agree with you. Yes.
Very
It's up to him.
subjective. So what would you
Yes.
tell him? But would you want your client to face this? Would you want your client to come home? Because yesterday you said no. You wouldn't advise
Yes.
it.
No, under these circumstances, my opinion has not changed since yesterday.
But because it's subjective, this fear, he's got to...
I can't tell someone, I can't tell my client not to be afraid because that's how he feels. How do you tell a person not to be afraid?
As a final question, who is your client most afraid of at this point?
He's afraid of everyone who might hate him enough to take justice upon his on his own initiative without going through the legal process. Like I said, any crazy out there might just decide to shoot him. I hope not, but never know.
And even with the amount of money that he has, he can't secure or acquire security?
Can you really be safe, Carmina, no matter how much money you have? Haven't we seen presidents, heads of state assassinated, despite the security that they have?
Well, I'm pretty sure that this is not going to be the last time that we're going to talk. Attorney Roy
I
Rondelin
hope
there
not.
joining us
I hope
today.
not.
Thanks again for taking our call. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Carmina.